Hey folks, this is Kalani. Can this week get any better? I still kinda can't believe it. If this were happening next month, I'd just chalk it up to some April Fool's shenanigans. But no, it looks like our prayers have finally been answered. After so many weeks of the same Reddit post being at the top of the WoW subreddit, time and time again, account-wide essences are actually going to happen. I know! Take a seat maybe, that probably came as quite a shock. We don't want anyone fainting before they can take advantage of being able to play your ults without having to re-grind essences over and over again. We don't have all of the details just yet, but we do have a brief overview of how the account-wide essences are going to work, and we have a time frame for when it's all going to happen. Okay, first things first, how are we going to get our hands on essences that we have already unlocked? If we get an essence on one character, is it simply unlocked on every other character? Oh no, that would be too easy. They have to give us a few hoops to jump through at the very least, but it's less hoops than actually getting the essences, so I think we can still be happy about it. From the blue post, if you have unlocked a rank 3 essence, that rank 3 essence will be accessible by talking to Mother on any character you have. So it sounds like you'll be able to skip over most of the ranks and pick up any essence you have already worked through at rank 3. That's some good news and should make it a lot faster to acquire any essence for your second, third or even fourth time. Or I guess if you like that one guildie that everyone has, your 22nd time, but those are the extreme cases. I bet those chaps are feeling quite giddy in particular. They did make a special note about reputation essences too. While ordinarily each specific essence must be learned in order to unlock it for other characters via Mother, all essences associated with Ny'alotha and Mechagon reputations will be available if any other different character has earned any of the essences available from that reputation. So I guess the rep essences get a bit of special treatment just to make sure we can always take advantage of this new system even if you didn't purchase and learn a specific essence. It sounds like this is going to cover different roles essences from the rep vendors mostly. If you can't heal on your main, then you can't buy the healing essences. If you had to learn the essence for this system to allow you to skip the grind, then you wouldn't be able to get any essences on your ults that your main's roles couldn't buy. But they're going to allow you to buy the healing essences on ults even if you only bought the DPS essences on your main. I think that's what this little snippet means. When the vendor is actually implemented in game, we'll be able to see exactly how it works. The good news so far is if you've done everything you need to get rank 3 on any particular essence, that rank 3 should be available for any future ults without having to do any of the real legwork. Now the post does specify rank 3, so if you have rank 2 of an essence and you gave up on that character, it sounds like this system won't do much for you. If you don't have the rank 3, the essence might not be available for your ults at all. Again, we'll get clearer information when we can see the vendor in action, but the post does say rank 3 quite specifically a few times. That's still definitely better than nothing, but it will mean you have to go all of the way on all of these essence grinds before you can take it easy on any of your ults. That means getting to revered reputation with the various factions who offer an essence, grinding all of the honor required for the blood of the enemy, finishing the Eternal Palace and Ny'alotha essences on at least one character. You get the idea. If it's not rank 3, it might not be easier for your ult at all. On the flip side though, if you can skip rank 1 and rank 2 of all of the essence on your ults with this new process, that's more than a good enough trade-off in my opinion. The main hoop you're going to have to jump through is the new currency. Didn't I mention a new currency yet? You thought this was going to be free? Oh lordy no. A brand new currency will be introduced to go alongside this account-wide essence system called Echoes of Ny'alotha. So you're still going to have to do a bit of legwork to get the essences on all of your ults, but the good news is that not only will it hopefully be less legwork, but it will also be more relevant legwork. A lot of complaints about essences for ults came from the really long grinds and then the outdated content. The really long grinds kind of explain themselves. No one wants to farm all of that honor again for the blood of the enemy essence, but when it comes to content for patch 8.2 that just doesn't really mean anything anymore, it feels a bit pointless. We just had to work through the Eternal Palace again for Nadara's Demon Hunter. The Condensed Life Force is still one of the best single target essences you can get your hands on for Demon Hunters, even after the nerfs, so that was a must-have pickup. The only way to get it before now was to run the Eternal Palace again, which was full of people just trying to get the essence and trying to get the coral trinket. No surprises there either, but having to work through an old raid tier is kind of strange, especially when some best in slot effects are locked behind it. The same goes for Mechagon and Nazjatar reputations. No one wants to spend time in Mechagon anymore. We want to romp around the assault zones and do horrific visions, and that's exactly where this new currency is going to come from. Most types of activities in patch 8.3 will provide you with some echoes of Ny'alotha. We don't have any idea how many, and obviously we're not sure how many we actually need to buy any of these rank 3 essences, but the Bloom Post did give us a short list of content that we can expect to provide us with this new currency. Most ordinary visions of Ny'alotha activities, such as horrific visions, assaults, raid bosses, mythic keystone dungeons, or BfA Season 4 PvP, will award a new soul-bound currency, Echoes of Ny'alotha. These echoes can be brought to Mother in the Heart Chamber and exchanged directly for eligible rank 3 essences. There's that rank 3 part again, by the way, that makes it sound like we will definitely skip over the other ranks and just pick up any available essence right away at rank 3. That's good to know. So, horrific visions, assaults, the Ny'alotha raid bosses, Mythic Plus, and PvP activities. That's pretty much everything you could want to do in patch 8.3 and most of what you're probably doing already. Most of those activities are available to everyone and are a big part of your alt's progress in patch 8.3. You want to do the visions to upgrade your cloak and gear up and get corrupted gear next week. You want to do the assaults to be able to run the visions in the first place. Any raid bosses that you can kill will be an extra chance at loot, and you'll probably be trying to do at least one Mythic Plus dungeon to ensure you get that extra chance at big ticket items from the weekly Mythic Plus cache. If you're already playing the game, this currency will just start filling up your currency tab, which is nice. That means you don't really have to go out of your way to earn this currency, unless you're just ignoring patch 8.3 content in the first place, at which point I'd argue, do you really want essences in the first place for your alts? This blue post does specify that the currency will be soul bound, so it sounds like there isn't going to be any options for farming on your main and buying on your alts, or farming on your first alt to help your other alts and what have you. Each alt will need to do the content itself to be able to buy the essences you want, but again, if you want to actually play an alt, chances are you'll be doing most of this stuff anyway for other progression reasons. So, we know where the account-wide essences will come from, Mother as a new vendor, and we know how we can get our hands on them, collect another new currency from pretty much any content in patch 8.3. That's kind of everything we know so far. I'm sure we'll get an update just before this goes live talking about some numbers, but even if we don't, we will be able to see it for ourselves very soon. I guess they've probably been working on this for a bit now because account-wide essences will be available with the next weekly reset. That's right, next week we can all drown ourselves in free, or almost free, or maybe quite expensive, but at least you don't have to run outdated content and you can skip straight to rank 3 essences. With this and the corrupted gear from Horrific Visions change, I think patch 8.3 might actually be in a fantastic spot after next week. You can play your alts way more freely, the essence grind has been almost removed if you've done it at least once before, the corrupted gear grind has been made significantly more accessible, so all that's left is really the rest of your gear and the legendary cloak. That's going to make picking up and playing alts so much better. I actually might pick up my hunter again. It's not 120 yet, I've left that character in the dust sadly, but now that I don't have to worry about essences whatsoever, everything I have on my demon hunter, which is almost everything, will be easily accessible on my hunter. That takes me from never wanting to even try to pick up my hunter to thinking it could actually be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about that. Now, is there anything we can do to prepare for this sudden influx of awesomeness from the dev team? Yes, Yes, there is. The first thing I would do is get any alts into a position where they can actually benefit from this system. So if you aren't at 120 yet on the alts you want to play, this week would be a fantastic time to get them caught up. You can get them through the introduction in patch 8.3, or at least most of it, so they're ready to do the assaults and horrific visions. The more gear you get, the more chances you'll have of getting into the raids and Mythic Plus dungeons to take advantage of those sources as well. I wonder if we can spam Mythic Plus dungeons for an endless grind of this stuff. That's also kind of exciting. I would imagine the weekly cooldown content, like raids, assaults, and to a lesser extent horrific visions, will probably drop more of the currency, while Mythic Plus will drop less, but might be endlessly farmable. But we'll have to wait and see. Another thing you can do this week is save your vessels of horrific visions. The more visions you can run next week, the more of this new currency you'll be able to obtain, and the more essences you can unlock right away. Next week, all loot you get from horrific visions will also be corrupted 100% of the time, so that's just another reason to save your vessels this week and run more visions next week. I can't believe we're finally here. Patch 8.3 might actually last until the Shadowlands pre-patch with these changes in place. Playing alts is always a massively underestimated way to pass the time between patches, and now that we can actually have fun playing them instead of grinding to try and get them caught up, I think a lot of players will pick up an alt or two to break up their gameplay. The dev team will surely be watching playtime metrics after this goes live. Let's show them that we will play our alts more if we don't have to repeat the same content over and over again to just get them caught up. It's going to be so exciting knowing you don't have to grind out any of these essences if you've already done them. No more rep grinds, no more Eternal Palace essence runs. Blood of the enemy for everyone. It's going to be great. What do you think of account-wide essences finally being introduced in patch 8.3? Are you annoyed and it took them so long to get around to it, or are you just happy that they changed their minds in the end to let us have some fun? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.